Philosophy. Immanuel Kant. You have properly been in a position where you don't really know how to act. It could, for example, be that you were really hungry and you really wanted a cookie. But the only cookie left was your younger brother's. And you really didn't know whether you would satisfy your hunger or be nice to your little brother. Immanuel Kant has an answer for you. Immanuel Kant made what he called a categorical imperative. The idea of the categorical imperative is act in such a way that the basis for your decision can always also apply as a principle for a generally valid legislation. This means that we should act in such a way that we would like others to act in the given situation. The categorical imperative can therefore be used as a kind of formula where we can insert our own actions in the place where X stands. In this way, we can see if we have acted morally right. For example, most people fundamentally believe that you should always speak truthfully. But most have also tried to be in a situation where they want to tell a white lie. Let's say you're late for work or school and say the delay is because your bike got a flat tire, even though it's not true. If you're asking yourself if your friend or colleague should lie to cover up a delay, you will probably answer no. But you might be able to come up with a lie yourself. From this, you can see that our own need in the situation makes us want to set aside the law of speaking truthfully. Immanuel Kant wanted to find a way that humans could be morally correct and good without religion. Immanuel Kant argued that you should treat others as if they were ends and never as means. This means that all humans are the best form for themselves and you can't judge a person for something they aren't. And this is also a reference to the ethical law in most religions of treating your neighbor as if it was yourself. The categorical imperative comes from the human's own rationale and what we all believe when we think. Immanuel Kant went further with his categorical imperative and applied it to politics. He believed that a state's true purpose is to create freedom. However, he also believed that the political idea of freedom was wrong. It shouldn't be thought of as the libertarian form of freedom, where you just do whatever you want to whenever you want to. Immanuel Kant believed we are free when we act within our own free nature, and we are slaves when we act after our passion and desires. Immanuel Kant wrote, "A free will and a will under moral law are one and the same. A free state is therefore not a state that lets you do whatever you desire, but a state that helps everyone with becoming more reasonable." The ideal government is an institutional version of the best parts of all of us. Kant was born in 1724 in Prussia. Kant's father made a living by making saddles, which meant they never had much money. He lived this way until he at age 50 became a professor. Kant's family were very strict and religious even though Kant didn't believe in God. But Kant knew how much religion helped his family to cope with the hard times and how useful it would be to create a community. Kant was little, weak, and not very handsome. But he was very sociable. Some of his colleagues criticized him for going to too many parties. He died at the age of 80 in 1804. In the city, he spent most of his life. Kant was a very big pessimist about human nature and that we were drawn to corruption. This idea resulted in Kant's life project, where he wanted to change the authority of God with the authority of reason and intelligence. Kant argued that historically religions had been wrong in the context of what they believed was right. But they were really good at promoting morals and ethics, which lead him to the categorical imperative. Immanuel Kant believed that there were a constant battle between our duties and pleasure. He believed that nature was a reminder of our better nature, which is a reminder of our common universal creature. A flower is just as pretty in a poor man's hands, as in a rich man's hands. A bird singing is just lovely to a child and to the most educated professor. Kant wanted to understand how the better and more reasonable parts of us could become stronger, so they could win over our weaknesses. Kant viewed him as a part of building a rational version of what religion had attempted, helping us become good. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing.